As this new lava and the rocks beneath it cool, they thicken to some 60 miles, forming the outer shell of the globe, called the lithosphere. Numerous shallow earthquakes are recorded along these mid-ocean ridges, still deeper ones at edges of some continents and under high mountains like the Andes and the Himalayas. These earthquakes reveal the lithosphere is fractured like a giant eggshell into some 20 huge slabs or plates. Here, the African plate, the Indian-Australia plate, the Pacific plate. This lava lake is analogous to how these plates float on a partially molten layer beneath the lithosphere. The continents don't plow through hard ocean floor, as Wegener's critics claimed, but ride like passengers embedded in these floating rafts. As they jostle for position, the plates interact in 4 ways. Some spread apart at mid-ocean ridges. Some grind past each other. Those carrying continents collide. Some slide beneath each other. This ceaseless movement builds the Earth's surface. For those who live on plate edges, the results can be devastating. This extraordinary film of an earthquake in Japan was captured in May 1983. The tectonic drama begins in the 5-mile-deep ocean trenches that ring the western Pacific. Here, the westward-moving Pacific plate sinks beneath Asia, beginning a complex and violent journey back into the hot interior, a process called subduction. As a result, Japan is one of the most earthquake-riddled places in the world, coping with alien forces that invade at will. Tokyo alone has been devastated nearly once a century for the past 2,000 years. As the plate that was once Pacific seafloor dives some 50 miles beneath Japan, it begins to melt. From this subterranean destruction comes new land as hot magma rises to fuel Japan's many volcanoes. April 1973. An undersea volcano explodes off the south coast of Japan. Scientists from the Tokyo Institute of Technology observe the explosion. From this, new islands are born, created by the plate destruction in Japan's subduction zone. Japan has been called the land of living volcanoes. Its history a chronicle of tragedy. Yet its people seem to know that their land owes its existence to volcanoes. With stoic resolve, their life goes on, as the Japanese have learned to live with this endless cycle of plate tectonic destruction and rebirth. Along the southern edge of the Asian mainland are India and the Tibetan Plateau, punctuated by the Himalaya Mountains. Here, 29,000 feet above sea level, fossils of ancient marine life are preserved in the rocks. They tell the remarkable story of another plate boundary where continents collide. More than 40 million years ago, the northward movement of the plate carrying India crashed into Asia, and the Himalayas were born. Sea rock on the leading edge of India was pushed to the roof of the world. Here, the former island continent is thrust under Asia, creating the Tibetan Plateau, the highest average landmass in the world. Today, the impact continues, pushing Mount Everest ever higher. So intense is the collision that for thousands of miles inland, the Asian continent is being pushed aside as if by a giant snowplow, creating powerful unseen forces that can strike without warning. The People's Republic of China is home to nearly 1 billion people. For centuries, the Chinese have attempted to predict earthquakes, but still, the earth can surprise. These seldom-seen Chinese motion pictures record the city of Tangshan in northeastern China after the morning of July 28, 1976. Ravaged by a colossal earthquake, 20 square miles of the city collapsed in total ruin. As many as 750,000 people died, equivalent to the destruction of cities the size of San Francisco or Memphis. It was the world's most destructive earthquake in 400 years, born of forces more than 2,000 miles away, where India relentlessly drives into and beneath Asia in a dramatic display of plate tectonics. Another kind of plate edge is marked by the San Andreas Fault on the coast of California. Here, the Pacific Plate moves violently past the North American Plate. Fault on the coast of California. Here, the Pacific Plate moves violently past the North American Plate. April 18th, 1906. In a single minute, the Pacific Plate lurched 20 feet northward along the fault, releasing energy that had been building for a century. The earthquake and resulting fires destroyed much of San Francisco.